Good morning, beloveds. I walked in here, and this is the one room with the best sunlight, so half the cats followed me in, much to the dismay of Hayes. Hayes is like, but it's my room. So, I also did not bring him food, and he's very by that. But I guess, when you're elderly, you can be, that way. When I say elderly, he's 17. Maybe almost 18, I'm not sure. He didn't always put up with the shenanigans of his people. All right, it is February 6th. I am the creation of God, therefore I have nothing to fear, is our title. And our quote, let's see. What is humanity? That thou art mindful of them. And the children of humanity, that thou visitest them. For thou hast made them a little lower than angels, and hast crowned them with glory and honor. And that is Psalm 8, 4, and 5. There seem to be strange quirks in the human mind. It has the ability to remember so much that is not good, and to remember so little that is good. Whenever we look to the past, we almost always remember the great hurts and fail to recall the great joys and blessings we have once experienced. Memory, in its true spiritual sense, is the capacity to remember our origin in God and the steady unfoldment of our nature through experience. It is the ability to know again that we are created by an infinite mind and prospered in all our ways by an infinite love. It reminds us of our divine destiny to overcome all evil and to abide in all that is true and good. As we do this, all fear is removed from our thought, for there is an inner uprising of faith in ourselves and in our fellow in our fellow people. The mind that created us sustains us, unfolds our good before us, and leads us in pleasant ways. Today, there's nothing to fear, for I remember that I am a spiritual being, and nothing can touch me, save that which is good. No material belief or situation has power over me, for, quote, he that has sent me is with me, close quote. My own divine nature repels and destroys the untruths of negation. They never have been a part of the real self which I am. I have faith in only that which is of good report. I love God and believe in God. I recognize the divine idea which I am in God's mind. I am the creation of perfect God, and I fear nothing, for God is all. So, I love how he starts out with, there seems to be strange quirks in the human mind. And there are. When you look at marketing, it takes 10 good comments to outweigh one bad comment. And I'm sure that there are evolutionary reasons why we focus on the negative, why we focus on that. But what Ernest is trying to remind us is to remember who we are. And who we are is not this. This is a vehicle. Who we are is that animating spirit within the vehicle that allows us to exist and to experience in the material realm. And so the truth is that whatever happens here in the material realm to this vehicle cannot touch the animating force that we are. which is hard to wrap our minds around. Which is hard to wrap our minds around because we don't understand it. We think we do. But the basis of wisdom, according to Socrates, is knowing what we don't know. And we don't. We don't understand consciousness. I took a number of classes while I was in ministerial school. Philosophy and religion classes. And the truth is, we don't understand. We have a brain, but that's not where consciousness resides. We have a heart, but that's not where consciousness resides. Consciousness resides somewhere that we don't understand. And every single living thing has consciousness. It comes down to whether it's an aggregate consciousness, or I forget what the other term was. But it had to do with whether every single cell has its own consciousness or if it's a united consciousness. We happen to be a united consciousness. So every single cell in our body has consciousness, but it is united into one consciousness. And when we think about that, and then we remember that every single cell in our body, and there's trillions of them, are united in one single consciousness, and then we can kind of expand that out into the entire universe. You know, we become a single cell in the universe. Are we an aggregate or a united consciousness? Ernest would argue that we are a united consciousness, and that's what infinite mind is. Infinite mind is that united consciousness of which we are one tiny single cell. But in that united consciousness, you know, the cells in my brain and the cells in my gut, they all know the same stuff. The cells in my feet, because if you take any single cell out of me and put it somewhere else and ask it to do that job, it has all the information it needs to do that job. That's who we are in the universe. We are those single cells that have all of the information we need to do whatever job we're asked to do. So were we to leave this vehicle behind and go somewhere and be asked to make a star, we have that information within us. We could do it. Which is mind-boggling. But that's who we are. And so that, come here. What are you talking about? Do you disagree about me being able to make a star? That's Hayes. Okay. I was waiting to make sure he could jump up and see if he needed help. And so that's what Ernest is reminding us to do today. To remember who we are. To remember what we don't know. And to remember what we do. And if we can remember that we are beloved children of God with access to the universal mind, then anything is possible. And to remember that we are not our material form. We're not our material form. Now, we are obligated to take care of it, but it's not who we are. Who we are is that animating spirit within, that if we are willing to let go of who we think we are, that animating spirit will show us who we really are. And show us stuff beyond our wildest dreams. So, go look in the mirror and say to yourself, I am a creation of God. Or I am a creation of spirit. Whatever word fits in there to you. I am a creation of God. Therefore, I have nothing to fear. And then the proverb is, it's a question. It's a question to spirit. What am I? What are people that thou art mindful of them? And the children of God that thou hast, or no, sorry, the children of humanity that thou hast visited them, for thou hast made them a little lower than angels, and hast crowned them with glory and honor. What are we to God? We are expressions of that divine nature, having material experiences that God couldn't have without us. Why wouldn't God visit us? Because we are extensions of an infinite source. And within us, we have the capacity to do anything. If we're willing to let go of those strange quirks of the human mind that keep us separated. So, there seem to be strange quirks in the human mind. It has the ability to remember so much that is not good and to remember so little that is good. And that is one of the reasons why Science of Mind does focus on gratitude practice. They do gratitude journals because we do remember. We can call up that negative so quickly. And sometimes we struggle to remember the positive. And so by writing it down in those journals or in those practices, then we look around and we go, no, life is so much better than I thought it was. And it also kind of helps create those grooves in our brain and that habit where we do remember the good. Whenever we look to the past, we almost always remember the great hurts and fail to recall the great joys and blessings that we have once experienced, which is why we actively practice that. We're never going to forget the hurts. We're not. But we can put them at a distance where they don't hurt, and we can actively recall the good. Memory, in its true spiritual sense, is the capacity to remember our origin in God and the steady unfoldment of our nature through experience. Which is why I say every day that we are beloved children of God. It is the ability to know again that we are created by an infinite mind and prospered in all our ways by an infinite love. It reminds us of our divine destiny to overcome all evil, not a power in and of itself, simply a misuse of the law, which when we remember how to use it correctly, we overcome all evil, and to abide in all that is true and good. As we do this, all fear is removed from our thought, for there is an inner uprising of faith in ourselves and in our fellow humans, in our fellow humanity. When we remember who we are, we remember who everyone else is. And then we can give each other a chance. The mind that created us sustains us, unfolds our good before us, and leads us in pleasant ways. All right. So today, there is nothing to fear, for I remember that I am a spiritual being, and nothing can touch me save that which is good. Because the only thing that can touch the animating force of us is what is like it. And the only thing that's like it is good. So yeah, interesting things can happen in the material world, and interesting things can happen to the material vehicle. But the core of who we are, nothing can touch that except that which is like it. And the only thing that is like it is good because it was made by God. No material belief or situation has power over me, for Spirit that sent me is with me. My own divine nature repels and destroys the untruths of negation. Who we truly are will shine forth and dispel the shadows. They never have been a part of the real self which I am. I have faith in only that which is of good report. I love God and believe in God. I recognize the divine idea which I am in God's mind. And that's why I like to say when we're working on stuff, it's like, go back to God's idea of you, because God's idea of you is whole and perfect. God's idea of you is good. I am the creation of perfect God, and I fear nothing, for God is all. Which is what I say on a regular basis. Look around. Everywhere you look, that's made of God stuff. God is all around us all the time, because there's nothing but God. And it is mind-boggling. All right, the mission today, should we choose to accept it? Oh, I had it. Oh, let me see if I can find it again. No, wait, I lost it. Okay. Maybe I was looking in the wrong paragraph. Our mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to remember that we are spiritual beings. That's it. Spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are spiritual beings having a material existence. But it is not who we are at the core of us. At the core of us, we are an animating soul, an animating spirit, an animating love. And nothing can touch that except that which is like it. And the only thing that's like it is good. All right? So yes, things happen in the material realm. And we manage the material realm. But it is not who we are. All right, beloveds? So please remember that. You are a spiritual being. And practice that gratitude. And one of the ways that you can practice that gratitude is by doing something loving for yourself, something kind for yourself, something compassionate for yourself. Whatever it looks like. Be it big, be it small, it does not matter. What matters is that spiritual practice of being loving, being kind, being compassionate with yourself. It can be as simple as 3 deep breaths and as much as a vacation. All right? But the point is that you do it every day. Every day. If you practice loving, kind compassion on yourself all of the time, every day, then when things in the material realm go a little sideways, because they have a wont to do that, then your response will be loving, kind, and compassionate with yourself, with everybody. And it tends to get the train back on the tracks a whole lot faster when we can respond in that loving, kind, and compassionate way. All right? And if we can practice it on ourselves, we can do it for anybody. Trust me on that. Okay, beloveds, I'm going to move into the process of my day because it is Sunday, which means I need to go and eat something because we are going to have an amazing service for you right here on Facebook Live. Or you can come in person if you're in the area, or you can watch it later on YouTube. So please check that out. And then I'm going to tell you, I would say engage your mind and your body. I do like to say that. But today is my day of rest, so I'm not going to do that. Outside of, I'm going to get up and go to church. I will remind you to please drink plenty of fluids. I will remind you, because it is beautifully sunny out there right now, go get a face full of sun. Get some early morning sunlight. It'll help reset your hormones and get your day off on the right foot. It may be a bit cool out there, so wear a jacket. And open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you. You do live in heaven, right here, right now. It's all around you. Everywhere you look is God's stuff. So look for the good and praise it, as Emma says. Because that's the fastest way to find it. The fastest way to find heaven is to look for the good. All right. So, have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a chilly day, a warm day, a snuggly day, a sunny day, a magical day, an enchanting day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. Because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. trust me on this. You are. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And sometimes it's messy. And sometimes it's glorious. All right, beloveds. I am going to go get something to eat. I will see you soon, right here at 11 a.m. Central Time, for that service. Or later, if you catch us on YouTube. We are on many of the social medias. As many of them as those of us who do the social media for the center can stand. So check us out. Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. That's how you find us on 4 of them. I am the Running Rev, and I'm on 3 of them. 3, not 4. We'll see. All right, the Running Rev Ryan. Okay. Deep breath. Know that you're loved, and I will see you next time.